Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're diving into a problem that is a massive, silent killer of productivity and a huge security risk. We're talking about the daily chaos of managing a ton of different online accounts for your business, for your clients, or even for your side hustles. So, does your workday feel like a game of digital whack-a-mole? You know, you log into one ad account, then you have to log out, clear all your cookies, log into a client's social media, and then you realize, oh no, you've just messed up all your data? If that sounds even a little bit familiar, you are in exactly the right place. Look, this isn't just a small annoyance. That constant shuffle is a huge drain on your productivity. But what's worse, it leads to contaminated data that totally ruins your tests and marketing campaigns, and that costs you real money. And on top of all that, it opens the door to some pretty serious security vulnerabilities.
So let's put a name to this problem we're all dealing with. Let's just call it multi-account chaos. It's that moment when the old way of doing things, one browser, one login, it just completely falls apart.
And these frustrations, they're pretty much universal, right? You've got the constant mind-numbing cycle of logging in and out. Then there's this thing called cookie bleed, where data from one session leaks into another, totally wrecking our A/B tests and ad pixels. We end up sharing passwords with our teammates, which is a major security no-no. And maybe the worst part? Our work becomes sequential, one thing at a time, instead of working in parallel. It's just slow.
So what do? We try to find workarounds, right? We've all been there. But let's be honest, these old fixes are basically just digital duct tape. They don't actually solve the real problem, especially when you're working in a team. Let's break down why. We all think incognito mode is our savior, but it's not. It still leaks signals between different profiles, and creating extra local profiles on your computer, it's clunky, and it doesn't really isolate the browser storage or the code running on the page. In VPNs, a lot of people get this wrong. They only change your network location. They do absolutely nothing to separate one browser session from another. These old tricks just don't scale.
Okay, so this is where we need to totally change how we think about this. Instead of trying to patch up the holes in our local browser, what if the solution was to move the browser itself somewhere else entirely, like into the cloud?
So how does this actually work? Well, it's a concept called cloud browser isolation. Just imagine this. The actual web page with all of its risky code is running on a secure server far away in the cloud. What you see on your screen is just a safe, encrypted video stream of that browser, kind of like a super secure screen share. Your computer never even touches the website's code, and every single one of your sessions is completely separate. In practice, it's ridiculously simple. You click a button on a web dashboard and poof! A brand new, perfectly clean browser starts up in its own isolated container in the cloud. All that gets sent to your screen is the visual of the web page, just the pixels. Think of it like a remote desktop, but for just one single, secure browser tab.
This powerful cloud technology is the engine behind a platform designed to finally put an end to all this multi-account chaos, and that platform is called Sendwin.
So what makes Sendwin so different? It's all about its elegant simplicity. Get this, every single browser tab you open is its own separate computer running in the cloud. There is absolutely nothing to install, no complicated setup. You can instantly launch sessions that look like they're coming from the Americas, Europe, or Asia, all from one clean, simple web dashboard.
Okay, now for the really good part. Let's circle back to all those frustrations we talked about earlier and see exactly how Sendwin just makes them disappear.
First up, the big one. We all know we shouldn't be sharing passwords for client accounts or team logins. It's messy, it's super insecure, and it's basically impossible to track who has access to what. It's a total nightmare. So Sendwin's solution here is kind of genius. You share a secure link to a live session, not a password. You can even blur out sensitive stuff like billing pages. You can set the link to automatically expire after, say, an hour or a day, and you can revoke access anytime you want. The most important part? Your actual password is never, ever exposed. All right, next up, the data integrity problem. When cookies from your personal account bleed into a client's ad campaign, or one of your tests contaminates another, well, you just can't trust your results. You're making big decisions based on bad data.
And this is where Sendwin's core architecture really shines. Because each tab is a totally separate cloud machine. There is literally zero shared storage between them. Each one has its own cookies, its own cache, its own everything. This guarantees no cross-contamination, your experiments are clean, and your client workspaces are completely walled off from each other. Period.
And finally, there's that ever-present threat of malware and phishing. Every link you click, every site you visit, it's a potential risk to your own computer and your company's network.
With Sendwin's zero-trust model, that risk just evaporates. If you click on a malicious link, any dangerous code executes harmlessly in that isolated cloud container, not on your device. You can even spin up a completely disposable browser for sketchy links, and then just destroy it when you're done. Your machine stays perfectly safe.
So, who is this actually for? Well, the applications are incredibly broad. Marketers can manage tons of ad accounts without worrying about making accidental edits. E-commerce sellers can run several storefronts without any data mix-ups. SEO pros can get clean data when testing regional rankings, and developers can use those disposable browsers for super safe quality assurance checks. Now, you might be thinking something this powerful must be complicated to set up, right? Well, the best part of a cloud solution like this is that you can go from total chaos to complete control in just a few minutes.
It really is this simple. You create an account, you pick a plan that fits what you need, and then boom, you can launch your very first perfectly isolated cloud session immediately. There are no downloads, no extensions, no configuration needed. It just works.
And they've made it really easy to give it a shot. You can get a 7-day trial for just $1, so you can test it with your own workflows and see if it's the right fit for you and your team.
Ultimately, this isn't something you can just read about. It's something you really have to experience and practice. That feeling of speed when you're working in parallel, the confidence you get from having clean data, and just the peace of mind knowing your work is totally secure. So the final question is really for you. Think about your own workflow, all the time you spend logging in and out, and the risks you might be taking without even knowing it. Are you ready to trade all that daily chaos for a system that gives you back your time, your security, and complete control?